Sudan is the largest country in Africa, and Darfur is a region of Sudan, something like a state, and it's the size of Texas or France, so it's a huge area. It's always been a forgotten land. The government of Sudan has never invested at all in this area, no infrastructure, not in education, not in hospitals or healthcare. So the people live just on what they do for themselves to survive. So over many years, the people of Darfur have been asking for just basic rights, for a representation in their own government, for just basic infrastructure and care for their children. And the government of Sudan has consistently said no. So in 2003, a small rebel group organized within Darfur. And they went after a military base inside of Darfur, a Sudanese government military base. And the response by the Sudanese government was not to go after the rebels that did this. Instead, what they did is they closed up Darfur and then they went after the population. They started destroying villages east to west, and by now over 90% of the villages have been destroyed. The attacks on the villages start very early in the morning with bombs dropping from the sky. The people say that they're usually sleeping, they wake up and are just in shock, start running in every direction. After the bombs, the Janjaweed, which is a militia that is armed and paid by the Sudanese government, they ride in horses and camels. And first they try and kill as many men as possible. And out here, I'm not talking 18 and over men. It's if you're 11, 12, you're considered a man. So they're killing very young boys and all the men that they can. They figure that they might come back someday and fight, so they want to get rid of them. After that, they go after the women and the girls, where they know that by raping in this massive way, they have an effect on a society over generations. The women that are raped are not really fully accepted back into the group. If babies are born from the rape, they're also not fully accepted into the group. So this really tears apart a society. For the survivors, what they get is they're pushed into the desert. Most of the people we meet in the camps, they walked anywhere between 10 and 25 days across the desert. Many people die along the way. You don't see many old people in the camps because it's just not doable for them to walk that long without food, without water across the desert. And so that's what gives you these massive camps in Chad and inside of Darfur, the internally displaced people's camp, which have sometimes over 100,000 people. In Chad, you get anywhere between 15 and 30,000 people. The people of Darfur, the refugees, they believe in the outside world. They know that if enough people hear what has happened to them, what is happening to them, that they will get the opportunity to go back home. It's about power. Our leaders don't believe that enough people out there care enough to where they would pay politically for inaction. So they take the silence from people around the world as meaning that they can turn the other way as this goes on.